friends, welcome back. You have some echo with that. Welcome back to Reseller Chat. Reseller Fashion Channel. I was in the wrong link. You can see I'm doing this. This has never happened to me before. I sent Nicki, Blake, and Bill's link for Thursday. So while she was sitting in there, I was talking live to you. So currently we have no one on because I took everyone away. Well, first, I want to thank you for coming on. It was so last minute.
No problem.
I was like, you know what? I just want to do something today.
Yeah.
Turn your volume down. Something's echoing on your end or something.
Okay.
Okay, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, there was something going on there. But I wanted to bring you on so that we can talk about, like, you know, your budgeting. I was telling everybody how wonderful you are. Like, you're always talking about how you inspire me. I was just telling my husband, I was like, she talks about how I inspire her, but you inspired me so much. You really do.
Aww.
You do. Like, I really appreciate everything that you're doing in terms of, like, one, working, and then two, like, budgeting and putting yourself out there, really being transparent with your numbers. And then also how you contacted me and you were like, you know, I've never been in front of the camera or anything like that. And then you just went for it. You know,
right.
That's what I like. You're one of those people who've done that. And it's so many, like, literally I have like about 3 or 4 people who have done that. Like, my girl just popped on, Daniela, and then my girl Kayla, who is also in Atlanta. And you contact, I give you a little information and you just go. Like, I can't even keep up with Danielle. And I always use Danielle as an example. She knows I love her, but I like to be able to talk about people who are tangible, like where people can see. So it's easy to talk about her because I do know her and I know the growth that she's had. And so that's what I like about you, just everything that you're doing. And again, I was telling my husband, I was like, gosh, she reminds me. I said, one, you sound just like my niece. When she started talking, I was like, you are from the South. I know you're from like Atlanta because you sound just like my niece Danae. And so it's undeniable. But I want you to tell everybody, like, we have people on. Hello, friends.
Hello, everyone. I can't see anyone.
I want you to tell everyone who you are, what you do for a living, a little bit about your children if you want to, and how you started reselling. And then we'll get into like some budgeting and some other things like that.
Okay. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Chandra, but
like some budgeting and some other things.
I'm sorry, I went on. My name is Chandra, but everyone calls me Nicki on the internet. That's like my little alter ego. I'm 35. I have 2 kids. I have a 16-year-old and I have a 4-year-old. I'm an employee at the United States Postal Services, so I'm a mail carrier. And I also resell part-time online on the Poshmark Mercari, and I can officially say now eBay.
Yeah, congratulations with that. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, first of all, Ryan talking about she's 35. Like, you know, no one's gonna lie about that, but like seriously, like you do not look 35. So when you get 50, you're really it's going to be on when you're 50. It's like, you know, like people like tell me, I'm like, aside from a little extra weight, I'm like, I don't know what 50 is supposed to look like. You know, I'm like, I look at my mother, she almost 70. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I aspire to be. You know, dad's still looking good. Hey, that's what it's all about. So you're selling on Poshmark. How long have you been selling on Poshmark? Because you've been selling on Poshmark the longest, right?
Yes. Okay. Since January 11th of this year.
She's only been selling on Poshmark since January.
Yeah.
Wait, first of all, how did we meet?
Well, I was looking up video because I was reaching out to the community and trying to find someone I can kind of, you know, ask for guidance or help or something like that. But nobody really was responding on Instagram. So I went to YouTube and I was looking up reselling and Poshmark and all those things. Then I came across you and I was like, you were sharing so much information. So it led me to your Instagram and I started following you. Then I think I asked you why didn't you do more videos or why wasn't you back on YouTube or something like that, because I just binge watch your videos while I'm at work. So
yeah,
that's how I found you.
Well, just to let everybody know, if you're this is the stuff that I talk about when I'm talking about, like, don't look at people from where they started. I love the fact that Nicki has watched my videos. The one thing I do like about my videos is they're just They're straight up just like authentic. You can't get like any rawer than me just like coming with a square screen. You know, some days I didn't shave my head. Some days I was just sitting there in my chair and just kind of talking about things, you know, talking about selling pajamas and things like that. You can't get any rawer than that. And that's what I like. I like the fact that she went back. One, I didn't have that many videos compared to a lot of people, but it's enough that you can watch and kind of go on. And then if you see the break off, then the break off, you just go to IGTV where it kind of picks up and it's shorter videos. But Nicki is the person who actually encouraged me to come back to YouTube. And the thing was, it must be, regardless of what you believe in or what you're, you know, if you believe in God or the universe or whatever, that divine intervention. Because when I started going back on, that's when we started to go into like quarantine, right? And I have felt that my voice hasn't always been heard in terms of the YouTube community, more so because a lot of people are doing hauls and showing the things they bought and stuff. Very little does that interest me. I want to talk about educational things and I want to talk about life stuff. Nothing against the resellers to do that, because I see people here, I see Quemby and different people. It's nothing wrong with that. Like if I buy a reseller box, you're never going to see me open someone's reseller box and show you what I got in it, because that is like a person, you know, giving you their heart and hoping that you don't give them a bad review, let alone, you know, do a haul on their thing. So I would never do that. And I'll probably do like B&D trading or something like that. Maybe thread up, but I would never do like a reseller's box, because I know how it feels. Like I sold some and I was like, please don't, you know. but seriously, so the fact that Nicki found me in the sea of all the people, and I only literally watch probably about 5 resellers here on YouTube, because I'm looking for food to feed my soul in terms of like learning. I know the brands that I'm interested in, and I'm pretty sure I can grow, but I know what direction I want to go in. So the fact that she was like, I watch your videos, I contacted you, and she's still like hanging. Now she's in my group. We have a great group, and I see a lot of people here. I see Nora and Christy, Daniela, Bill just joined our group, Wendy, Diana. I mean, that's support right there. So we have an online chat group. We do have room for a few more people. We're real about it. We don't gossip. We don't talk about each other. We provide information. We provide support. There's been a lot of deaths. There's been a lot of different situations. People are going through things that they never thought they would have to. And we have like a small group of people that will support each other. It was a Facebook group filled with like 170 people. And I whittled it down to like the 25 that we are, because that's consistency. And it takes a lot, not that I'm like this big person, for me to put my time and energy into people. And so with Nicki and Wendy and Daniela and Nora and all the people who are hanging in there, the support of the community has just been phenomenal. And I'm talking so much just to get to the point that I want Nicki to understand that she has landed into like an awesome community. A year ago, I didn't know anybody here. Like literally, I just started meeting some people, probably about March. I met Wendy, Roxanne, and Ashley all in March. And then other people later, like Daniela, way in the year, probably June or July. So that group, my tight group of people that's been hanging in there, they hanging in there tight, you know, and these are people I talk to, I have their numbers, and, you know, yeah, so the community has just been so awesome and welcoming. Just even the people who are on here today, it really means a lot to me that you would support me in this small way. So I want Nicki to talk a little bit about why she started reselling. What was the goal of that? And that's the first part. And then the second part is, where do you plan on going in the rest of 2020 in your reselling business? So why did you start reselling?
I started reselling actually at first to help pay for my son's daycare. I do pay daycare. But before it was weekly. Now I'm paying every other week because I share the cost with his father. Then it actually went into, okay, well, the beginning I wasn't making enough to cover the expenses. So I said, well, how about I try something different and just put it towards debt, because I am in, a large amount of debt, I would consider, and I'm just using the reselling platform to help pay off of debt. And eventually I want to give money back, because when my mom passed last year, she didn't have any savings or anything like that, and someone was willing, helpful enough to donate me money. So I want to kind of try to get some type of organization going where I'm able to help those that may not have life insurance, to put their loved ones away, and in the same way that someone was able to help me with.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's wonderful. What you talk about, Nora? Nora talk about you were the first what? um, you were the first one in my group. I forgot Nora. Yes, Nora is one of my original crew. Hey, Nora. So we got so quick. Hey, Tiffany and Hugo. If it's both of you. But yeah, Nora, you're a part of my original crew. I got nothing but love. And then the people I've got to meet, I've got to meet Nora in real life at Posh Fest. So that was an awesome experience to kind of like meet her. She was like quiet and shy in the beginning. And, now I can't get rid of her. But I love the fact that you want to do something. And that's the thing that I love so much, that I love about this community. It's not that people don't want to give back. Sometimes they don't know how. And the fact that you've identified a way to give back is awesome. Because people say, yeah, I want to give back. I want to do this. What I like about you, Nicki, is that not only do you talk about what you want to do, you start kind of putting the work, in process. And so that's really important. You don't have to do this big old grand thing. You don't have to like have all this money. But the only way to start is to start, You're having some technical difficulties over on your end, like moving stuff. But like, so that's the cool thing about like what you're doing. So now you're started reselling, you kind of got a taste of it. Now you've moved to Macari, and congratulations on eBay. And for those who think I don't like eBay, I don't have a dislike for eBay. I always have to put this out there. eBay was the platform that brought me home from work. I had 2 stores. I just don't want to do it anymore. Now, if I didn't have my other businesses, I would probably venture into eBay, so that we can be clear on that. I just have a lot going on that I found platforms that are easy and streamlined that work for me. I always tell the ladies in my group, the ladies that are here, tell me what I say before I get into it. If you know what I'm going to say about having some platforms, then tell me that. Let me see. Okay. So Nora says she was the first in my Facebook group without Facebook. Yes. And then what came along, everybody's saying hi to each other. Let me just say hi to a couple people. Wow, Nicki, that's awesome. Getting yourself out of debt. That's Quimby, Grateful Queen. Do you follow Quimby, Nicki? If you don't, definitely follow her. She has a great live on Friday. Hey, Iris. Iris is in my group. So I'm telling you, the ladies come out. He said, hey, Humphrey. Daniela. Okay, Nora. Right. Okay. So now that you're on these other platforms and you have Poshmark, Macari, and eBay, what is your goal to accomplish by December? Are you thinking in terms of growing it, going in a different direction, starting a website? What is your goal business-wise?
Business-wise, I'm just going to continue on just doing what I'm currently doing, because right now I'm just trying to get out of debt. So my goal by the end of December is I want to continue on listing items to try to pay off my car this year. So that would give me a year early that I'll be able to pay off my car if I'm able to do it. So that's just initially my goal for this year. I don't have any plans on like making it bigger or growing it in any type of way, because my initial goal was to just get out of debt.
Yeah, you're having some it's like a playback. So can you tell that you're having some challenges? Okay, now you're good. No, now you're good. It was slow, and now you're good. Just that. But so the key is you don't have to have business goals. You have other financial goals, and to want to pay off your car is an incredible thing, because I know when I first connected with Daniela, The main thing that she wanted to do was pay off her student loan. When she reached out to me and sent me an email, and we were just kind of got chatting, she wanted to pay off her student loan. So it's nothing wrong with having that monetary goal. And I think it's really awesome. The way that you finish, the way that you follow through and finish is to have a why. And it doesn't matter what your why is. We're all individuals. We're all going to have our own things that are important to us. But when we get down and we get discouraged and we feel like we're not making sales, that's when we take a moment back, even if we have to take a day off or a couple days off, get off of social media, and we sit down. I'm a list person, so I'm all about writing things down, right?
Yeah.
If you have to write a list, then you start writing down what your why is,
Right.
Okay, so this is Quimby's asking you a question right here.
My closet name is Glow Girl Glow, and that's Glow GLO.
So it's Glow Girl Glow. Say that to me. So Glow GLO Girl Glow. Okay, it's the same. You can find her on Instagram under the same name.
Right.
There's Vandy. Hello. Okay. I'm just making sure I don't miss anyone because everybody's saying hi, putting out the love. My moderator's not here, but that's okay. I don't think there's any stalkers today. So I'm being like really silly right now. So one thing is you do, which I really like. Nicki is a person who actually purchased my ebook, right? So she talks about it and she shares some of the things that she likes from the ebook. What specifically do you like? What pages do you specifically like, and how do you use those pages?
Yep.
Yeah, we can't hear you. Nicki, you have technical, we can't hear you.
I like the listing portion. I also like the monthly sales and the different platforms that I'm selling.
Yeah, you're definitely.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. I would say stop moving. Something's going on where like you're actually frozen.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you a little bit. I can't. You're not moving though. So I know she said she likes the listing form. I created a listing form that has all of like these little bubbles, these circles that every day list is 100.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but you're not moving. So she likes the listing bubbles. You can circle them in, set a goal. Talk again.
Can you hear me now, Larry?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you, but your lips are like your screen is almost frozen. I'm working on paying off. Let me see. 3 queens. There's Stephanie. Stephanie says, I'm working on paying off credit card debt. I should be done by December. Yay, Stephanie. Stephanie's a teacher, and she's putting in that state that work from home, homeschooling work. Thank you, Stephanie. Everybody check out Stephanie 3 Queens Resell. That is her YouTube channel. So if you're not following her, check her out. I just have a way with names. If you ask me, like, how do I know your name? Yeah, Nicki, you're having some technical challenges. See if you can go out and come back in. Let me see if I'm missing anyone. There's Victoria. Hey, Bill. Yeah, all of a sudden, Nicki started having some challenges over here. Does anybody have any questions? What are your goals? What was your original why? Like Quimby, we did talk on the podcast, but did we ever talk about what your original why was? Daniela, what are you working on later? Vandy, thank you. Nicki had to go off for a minute because she was having some technical difficulties. But tell me what your original why was, and is reselling helping you with that? So I know Daniela had some student debt. Stephanie just talked about paying off credit. My why is really just now, I was just like living that. I left my job and reselling became my business. And so now I've added on that a different structure to add consulting and webinars and courses and some different things that I'm working on. And they're not reselling related. My goal is to sell, but not create a lot of reseller content. And it's for any business owner. So it just shows you that you don't just have to be like a reseller in order to be in business and to relate, because we all use the same tools. Okay, so we're going to go to Bill. And so Bill says RY with school debt now is trying to help other resellers. And so they're doing some really great stuff. Bill put the information in the comments so people can see what you and Tori and the other people are doing. I got an email and I was trying to find it because I wanted to donate and I couldn't find it. So I'm going to have to find it later. But they are making masks and they're donating the money. Put the hashtag in the comments, Bill, so that everyone can follow the hashtags and they can contact you or Tori and Lara and whoever else so that they can find out how they can be a part of this organization. When I had Tori on last week, she was saying that if everybody can just donate $1, not everyone can donate $5, $10, $100. But if you can donate $1, you know how much $1 would do if 50 people donated $1, if 100 people donated $1, it would make such a huge difference in the community. The money is going to help resellers who need an additional help. And the add-on is that once they get their money, they have to then give half of their money to someone else. So the giving keeps on giving. So that's what I love about this organization. Let me go up. I saw somebody else. Okay. Okay, so that was Stephanie. Okay. She's back. She had to get on another device. That happens all the time. Okay, so that was Bill. Okay, and then so here's Daniela says, pay off her undergraduate loan, and now I'm working on my graduate loan and saving for a new home. Yay, Daniela. And with some of the things that Daniela has going on, I'm pretty sure she's going to grow pretty quickly. She's taking it slow. Daniela has to think things out and really plan them out. If you're not listening to Daniela and Lori, so Daniela is Ivy and Blush Bottega, and Lori is Lori Boston Found, two of my favorite people. And I always brag that I have met them in person. They have impacted my life in such an incredible way, even though they don't realize it. And that's the cool thing. You don't have to realize what you're doing in someone's life, as long as the person knows what you're doing in their life. And so check out Thrifters Villa. Follow Daniela, follow Lori. Daniela's created a new website. Lori's created a new website. On their latest podcast, they're teaching you about social social media calendaring, and they have a new website and you can get a printout calendar. So check that out. Okay, so here we go here. So sell quick, ship quick. You can find them here. They have a great YouTube channel and they are on Instagram. Tiffany and Hugo, I've not met them in person, but everything I've seen and heard has been awesome. The connections that bring us all together, we have all the same people in common, so that makes them extra special. And their original why was becoming debt free. Gotta love that. Gotta love debt freedom, right? Reselling has really helped us with that. We have multiple streams of income, so reselling is just for debt. Multiple streams of income. Can you guys say that again? For real. Just like put it all through the comments. It's really important to diversify yourself and create multiple streams of income so you can have a cushion. A cushion that is like coming out so much that you can save some and give some away. And that's my goal. Vandy says, mine is to work for myself regardless of what I do. And it can be done. And she's making moves on ThreadUp. Let me tell you. So check Vandy out. You can find everybody on Instagram. That's how I know everyone. Denali's in here somewhere. Hello, Denali is another phenomenal person that I follow. I just love her personality. Let me see something. Yes, we will definitely meet some way. So Diana says her original why was to pay off debt faster, but then lost her job and went back to school. So helping with bills, debt while I go to school. Congratulations on going back to school. Especially once you're over 40 and you do that thing. I'm telling you, it's like, wow. So El Ducho is Denali. If you don't know her, check her out on Instagram. And she has flipped the script Podcasts I've been on, great content. Um, Aside from Instagram and podcasting, check Denali out on TikTok. Okay, serious. I'm telling you, when the reason I know so much about everybody is because I follow you and I listen and I watch your content. And that's what the community is all about for me, is that I learn something from every day. And if you're not following these people, these are the people who are providing the food for you. They're nourishing your business. You know, you can follow other people, whoever you want to follow, but the people I follow bring something to me. So Denali says, my why is freedom. Yes, freedom to make her own business decisions, work on her own time, and spend more time with her family. See, that's why Denali and I get along. Like I'm pretty sure this happens to everyone. We're like taping our podcast and we're just like talking. You know, I think we need to start taping our episode now. So that's it. Definitely, Denali. I agree with you 100%. That is the ultimate goal. And I want to be able to help people. I really want to be able to, like both of my parents, I'm so thankful that they're still here. They're each married to separate people, but I would love to help my mother and my stepfather. I would love to help my father and my stepmother. I would love to send have money for my grandbaby so she can have choices. She's 6 now, but if her mother wanted to send her to a specific school, I want to have money so that my daughter doesn't have to worry about college. Thankfully, she got a scholarship, but it's always nice to have something. So that's awesome. Okay, I'm coming back to some more questions in a minute. So we were talking, Nicki. Now, what pages in the ebook do you like that you have been using?
I like the listing pages where you bubble in, circle in how many listings you posted, and I also like the tracking your sales.
Yeah,
so I like both of those pages, and those are the ones I've been using.
So that's the cool thing. So the bubbles were fun to make. Like, oh, you see that? Like, and so it's like 100 bubbles on the page. So you can, if your goal is to list 100, even if you only list 10 a week or something like that, you can fill in the bubbles. Even if you only list 5 and your goal is to list 100, so you can use that page and then just take you through the month. And something else that Nicki's been doing that I like, and it looks like she created it on her own. Talk about like you have like an accountability thing, like how your goal for what you want to list. Is that correct? I see it in your stories.
Yeah, I have because I wanted to try to get 200 active listings in my closet. So I had, according to the amount that I had already listed in my closet, I needed like 150 more. So my goal was to try to do like 30 per I think it's like 10 days on here. So that's what I was trying to do, but I didn't meet the goal each and every time.
Well, you're working too. And so that's the thing. The thing about goals is you set them. And if you don't meet them, you can start all over again. And that's the thing. It's not like it's a life-changing thing. You're working. And the thing is, one, you're working under pressure that a lot of people aren't working under. Like for those who are just joining, Nicki is a postal worker. She's carrying mail. So she is an essential worker. And she has a 16-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old son. Am I correct on that? Okay.
Correct.
Awesome. I'm telling you, that's why I do this so that my brain can go. And I apologize for getting your name wrong. I'm so sorry. Oh my God. But she's an essential worker. So she does have things that she's trying to do and accomplish every single day. She still has to come home and run her household. Regardless if you work outside of the home or if you work inside of the home, there are other things that you're trying to accomplish. This business, man, it could like eat us up and spit us out real quick. I do this thing full time. So I have to say, Leslie, you know what? I wake up in the morning, you're taking off today. Just forget it all, and I might just sit in my chair and just watch TV all day and then just go, you know what? Let me share my closet once or let me post on Instagram. But it is okay. Like it can get to the point that you're just like not accomplishing and something is not going right. Give yourself a day to just chill. Like, so like Nicki, I'm about to talk about that Instagram. So I'm sitting there. It's like 11 o'clock at night. I don't know. And it shows Glow Girl Glow has gone live. And I love to support anybody. I click on live. She's dancing. I'm like, okay, so what you doing? Oh, my boyfriend and I'm off tomorrow. So we're just jamming. And he's in the back. I don't know what he's talking about. But she's
DJing in the background.
She's going. She said she's 35, but she was jamming like she was 22. Okay, so I said, what is going on here? But I love the fact that she's comfortable enough to jump on. A couple of months ago, she was like, I don't know where I'm going to start. Now she was showing off. Okay. So
Actually, I didn't know that I was on that page. Thought I was on my personal page.
I see. Okay. So it could, like I said, everything, like sometimes you come on when there's other people. So what I do is I try to give my attention to other people. And I was like, oh, I'm not doing anything. This is perfect. She's on. Totally shocked me. I was like, okay, what's going on here? So, but you know what? The cool thing about it is I like that in the midst of everything that what's going on. You came home from work, you knew you had the day off the next day, and you were like, you know what? I'm just gonna dance. And sometimes you just have to dance. Ask Blake. He'll tell you, maybe he'll dance for us. So for you guys who don't know, this coming Thursday, April 30th at 8 p.m. Eastern time, I'm going to have Posh Boss Blake and Bill from 324 Finds or Girly Girl Hubs here on YouTube. They will be on. Blake was like, so what are we going to be talking about? I'm like, Blake, it's going to be 3 awesome people on. Why we have to have a topic to talk about? We're going to make it work. We're going to make it worse because Les can get a little loose sometimes, you know. You know, I'm not, you see my crazy memes and all that other kind of stuff. Les, you know, I am not like stuck up. So let me look over here. So Daniela says, my why is changing every day. Debt payoff and buying a home are very important to me, but but so is teaching individuals, giving my background in teaching. Yes, I think that is a phenomenal thing. And so I'm going to use Daniela as an example because she tells me to do it anyway. And I would do it anyway. Doesn't matter because she's like so awesome. But like she is doing what I talk about all the time. If you know something, teach. She's a teacher. Like, you know, she's not working at capacity, but like she's paying off student loan for the things she went to school for, teaching. So why not use that in your business? And like now she's developing like every single day. She'll send me a text message and she's like, this is what I got going on. How does it look? How does this sound? How do you think this is going to go? So I was like, whatever it is, I told her, whatever you're doing, it's going to be awesome. So, hey, I think it's going to be phenomenal. Let's see who else is over here. Yeah, so yes, for real. I'm telling you, it's nothing like getting up and dancing, just turning on the music. That's why I have my little office, but my daughter's rooms are next door. My teenager is like, Mom, seriously, you know, what music are you listening to? And I'm like, baby, that is songs in the key of life, you know. Or I might put something else on. What you know about that, you know? So hey, don't do it. I have a big crush on T.I. I always have. I don't know. It's that Southern voice, you know. So dancing makes everything better. Indeed. I've seen Tiffany and Hugo. They have if you go to their Instagram page, Tiffany looking at Hugo like, what is your problem? Diana says she loves Blake and his dancing. Maybe we can convince him to dance. If you don't know who I'm talking about Posh Boss Blake. He has an Instagram channel. I love his vlog. He gets real life because he lost his job due to what we're going through. So he talks about like his good days, his bad days. He's dancing. He's just so much fun. I've interviewed him. I've met him in person, and then his spirit is just so wonderful that if you're not watching him, go check him out. Go say hi on Instagram. And I'm telling you, the community is wonderful. Let's see. So Daniela says, not teaching the visually impaired anymore, but still using my skills working for the state. Okay, there you go. And Daniela is an essential worker, so we want to thank her so much for going out every single day. Thank you for going out every single day. Anyone, I say this all the time, it's my YouTube channel, so I just want to say, if you are an essential worker, and I think anyone who's going to work, it doesn't matter if you work at the bank, if you're working in an office, if you have to leave your family every single day to go and work for someone else, you're an essential worker. So there is no tag on anything. My daughter is 17 years old. She goes to a Votech school, one of the best schools here in Delaware. And she got her CNA when she was 16 years old. And she just got a brand new job at a new place, making more money than she was making at the old place. So I do get concerned. Everything's all about masks now. They take her temperature when she walks in the door. They ask her these questions every single day. Well, they know if she's coming in today, she wasn't flying yesterday. But they do that because they're being very careful. But it does concern me because she's only 17, but that she wants to go out there and do that. But so for the people who are doing this, what people don't understand is at any time they can walk away. Nicki has a family and a livelihood, but if she really was like, you know what, I got to think about my health, because if I'm not here, who's going to take care of my children? There are people making those decisions every single day. So we should not take them for granted that they're going out and they just have to. No one has to stand behind the cash register and pay and, you know, put your groceries out there for you. They don't have to do that. So when you get there, if there's only one person in line, just think about all those people who made the decision, especially when your children come home. There's no daycare anymore for a lot of people. And now people are homeschooling. They went from their children going to school every day to like even being on Sarah's YouTube yesterday. Erin is homeschooling 3 people. So you go from sending your children off to school, and now they're talking about you got to learn new math to teach your children new math, right? So thank you. Listen, thank you, everyone who's essential. If it's you, if it's your family, if it's your children, every day I'm thankful for my son for serving his country in South Korea. It was a sacrifice he decided to make, and I support him 100%. I'm married to a vet, and so thank you all. Reseller Wendy, hello. Love Blake. I enjoy watching his lunch videos. Yes, definitely. And he always has really good food too. So that definitely, Nick, if you don't watch him, he's just like chill. And he's like eating and he lays everything out and he describes what he's getting, and he likes to like support the businesses that are still delivering and everything. And I think that's something we can do. I try to do that. Like I've always treated myself like once a week. You know, that's been a big thing for me. Like, you know, you've cooked your food or you ate what's at home and you go, you know what, I'm working all week long. I want to buy myself something.
Right.
So if you can support a business, I think it's really important. I'm gonna read a couple more comments and I'm gonna come back to you. Let me see. Okay. So Bill says, hope those masks help a tad bit, Daniela. Take care of yourself. And she says, yes, they do, Bill. I have enough for entire week. Very nice. My mother made masks. And because she sews, she's making all these quilts. That's her new hobby. And she sent me these masks last Wednesday. And when I tell you, Nicki, she is freaking out every single day. And I paid her for them because I had said to her, Mom, you're making masks. My stepfather is the head chef at a franchise like nursing home. And my mother made all these masks. And I said, okay, so are you getting a little bit of money or something? And she was like, I didn't think about that. So I told her, I said, Mom, make me enough masks for everybody in my house and I'll pay you. So I sent her the money, PayPal. Every day she's been like, did you get these masks? I haven't gotten them. She sent me my money back today. I said, Mom, they'll eventually get here. You know, she know what she said. She says, somebody at the post office is wearing my mask. LOL. I said, Mom,
No.
possibly. So it says, wait. Okay, here we go. My mom, Hugo, is a nanny and works for a doctor, so she needs to go to work so that the doctor can go to her shifts. Definitely. So if anybody knows, like Ashley, maybe Ashley actually just took herself off the Instagram for a while. Go read her posts. She was talking about how she was just getting like anxiety and things like that. But both of the people she worked for are vets, and she's been with this family for several years. So not only is she the nanny, because the kids were going to school and she would be there when they came home. Now she's homeschooling. So yes, the roles do change. You still are working because the people who you work for are essential workers.
Wow.
Oh, this is Stephanie again. Stephanie says, I'm teaching my 190 students online now and my own 2 daughters at home. Oh, Steph, wonder. Oh my goodness. It has been the hardest few weeks of my 23 years of teaching. Well, thank you so much for doing that. Right. I'm pretty sure your students appreciate you so much. They're probably so lonely at home. What kind of fun things are you doing for them, Stephanie? Are you like the chill teacher? Are you doing like weird stuff? There's been teachers putting on bunny suits and doing all kinds of stuff. Are you doing, because I think I remember you said you were like middle school or something like that. Stephanie and I, she's Three Queens Resale. Follow her on Instagram. And again, she has a YouTube channel. And I had the pleasure of meeting Stephanie the last night at Posh Fest at the party. I just happened to sit at her table and she was like, I know you. And so, okay. So Nicki, let's talk now about, take a couple minutes and tell everybody about like your budgeting system. So you budget, Nicki budgets, and I love the fact that she's transparent. That's what I like about it. Like she puts out her whole income. Okay. And she breaks it down and tells you where all the money is going. Instead of really getting so deep into it, tell everybody like why you started budgeting. Were you like really bad with money and you made some bad decisions? Tell everybody what kind of got you started. Hey,
I started budgeting because I was making the money, but I didn't know where the money was going. And then I would turn around and say, hey, I don't have any money. I don't even know where it went. I just got paid on Friday. So I decided to do something about that. So I started budgeting and started, what I do is a zero-based budgeting. So I give every dollar a name. So when I go back and I'm wondering where that money went, I know exactly where it went because I gave it a name or gave it a job to do. So that's what I do.
So you want to pay off your car. What is the second largest debt that you want to pay off? And do you think, are you starting with the first thing that's the car, the largest, or are you doing some other things in between, like some of the smaller debt?
Well, the largest thing that I have is my student loan.
Okay.
And also in the process of trying to get a home within 2 years. So from what I've spoken, when I spoke to the lady with the company that I'm going through home ownership with, what was suggested to me was to start getting a on-track payment history. So I pushed my credit, because I do have credit card debt as well. So I pushed my credit card debt to the side because my car note is already on time because it's automatically coming out of my checking account. I want to go ahead and get rid of that extra car, that car payment. And then I can work on my credit cards because my credit cards are the lowest. And then I want to tackle my student loans once everything else is paid off, because I feel like the car note and the credit card payment, I can put that lump sum towards the student loans at the end.
It all sounds good. So for everybody here, if you're trying to pay off debt, what do you have a strategy like Nicki has? Thankfully, I don't have a lot. My goal was before I married Thomas, I came out of a crazy marriage. I have no will ill because I've 4 beautiful children. I've been married 3 times. For those who don't know, who cares? I'm still awesome. But I came out and my ex-husband left me with some kind of crazy debt. Went through a lot of stuff, and I happened to meet Thomas in the interim. And aside from this one piece of debt, I had no debt. I lived debt free. And then before I decided to come home, I created a plan. And I also write that in my ebook, how you can come up with a budgeting system that will work for you. It's just ideas. That's why it's called practical advice. It's not you have to take my advice, but I kind of laid a foundation of what you could possibly do if you want to save money. And the first thing is, don't save money to become a full-time reseller. That's what I tell people. Save money for life. Look what we're going through now. Everything that I did when I walked away from my job 2 years ago was preparing for such a time as now. So what I try to advise people to do that, because there are people who contact me, how can I become a full-time reseller? Don't worry about that. Worry about saving money and clearing up your debt for now, because the best way to live is to live debt-free. There's so many people who want to work away from their job, but they can't. So if you prepare as if you're pretending I'm putting an emergency fund away. That's what my husband and I decided. It had to be and our number that we came up with $1,000. That was the emergency fund. That has nothing to do with your business. Totally separated. So if you especially for people who don't have insurance or something like that, you break your leg, your son or child has an issue or whatever, you've got that money to fall back on.
Right.
your lights go out, something may happen. That's what that fund is for. Then you start setting up your savings account for your businesses. And that's what I did. I actually came straight out of the box with 3 banking accounts. So I have one strictly business account where the money, well, actually I have 2 now, because I have set up, I have one account that goes, my money for Poshmark goes, and then I have Macari and Etsy go somewhere else. And then with both accounts, you have a checking and a savings. And then also now with everything that they're doing is this interest, right? And then it goes into your account. So it's like cool. And then I have an account that's set up because I want to purchase a car. And then I have an account set up where I like the vacation. Thomas and I, before we went through everything we're going through, twice a year, a big vacation in the spring, and then something just kind of laid back, even if we just drive to Virginia Beach or something like that in the fall, early winter time. So just prepare yourself. And I think that's really important. I want to see what other people are saying. Hey, Tori, Quimby said something. Okay, I want to go back up. Okay. Reseller Wendy, I'm still working 6 days a week, accepting all the resellers' orders, their shipping, and everyone who has been mailing. I bet we ship at least 100 masks a day. People are making and mailing to. That is awesome. Seriously. Yes, Reseller Wendy, she works for the Postal Service. Yes, she does. Yes, it can be a club. Let me tell you something. My thing is, like, look, I'm transparent. Like, I'm not going to tell you how much money I make, which is not, I'm not rich, but I do work for myself. No, seriously. I just say to people, you can take it however you want, but out of the process of those marriages, I was blessed with 5 beautiful humans. That's my takeaway. And I tell them I don't talk about their dads, none of that stuff. That's my takeaway. He didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. We have 5 beautiful children, and they're all successful. They're all alive. And it doesn't get any better than that. It really doesn't. Quimby says, I am so thankful I have an emergency fund because I am totally self-employed and my work is seriously cut back. So thankful I saved. So if you don't follow the Grateful Queen, her real name is Quimby, and she's a Grateful Queen. She has a great YouTube channel every Friday, 5 o'clock on her end, but 8 p.m. on the East Coast. She tries to do a haul video, but she does so much conversation going on that she does more talking than she does like showing her items, which is awesome. And it's the same crew that shows up. So check out Quimby also on Instagram. Her personality is just like amazing. And I think she is like a grief counselor, not a counselor, but she has her degrees and stuff like that. So, and she's home with her son. Let's see. So I'm using the waterfall method for my credit cards. Throw that in the comments for people who may not know what the waterfall method is. And Wendy says, I don't have any debt now, but when we did, we always paid ourselves first, meaning we always designated an amount to pay our savings. Pay yourself first. One of the things that it becomes like a generational thing, and I'm pretty sure like Nicki is a little bit younger than me, not that much. She's 15 years. I mean, she's 6 years younger than my oldest daughter. She probably didn't know that. My daughter Tyra, who has given me a beautiful granddaughter, Sanaya, who's 6. So she's not that much, younger than my oldest daughter. But I have taught all my children because generationally, sometimes our parents, and I know in the Black community, people do not teach their children about money. From day one, I taught my children about money because as soon as I turned 14 and I got my first job, that's when my debt started. Because it was about you didn't have. I grew up with a mother on welfare. So when you don't have, you think you need to have when you do get the money. So I started instantly going in debt. When I was 16, I worked for like a corporation. I was going to college at 16. I was working for a company at 16. And so I was going out and buying Gucci bags and stuff, 16. So I started off with debt and I went into relationships with debt. So the first thing I did when my children got old enough, all of my children have had bank accounts by the time they were 17 years old, accounts with debit cards. Because you go in there and they're like, oh, you just want them to have an account? No. Now, if I have to be attached to it for a minute because of their age, that's okay. Like my 17-year-old. But this one over here, she has her own job. I don't go into her account because I've taught her what is important. She needs to know how much money she makes, how much to push to savings. She's paid for her own prom. She paid for her own graduation, even though she's not going. I didn't do that. And that's what I've done with all my children. You don't owe your children anything except for all the things they need to have. You know, I used to tell my children, if the police came to my house to take me away, they couldn't get me because you have eaten, you have clothes, you have a bed to lay on, great health care, and I've provided all the foundation for you. My children have been cooking since they were 5 to 8. No, I haven't washed anybody's clothes since they were 8 years old. You know, so it's like I've laid the foundation, especially with the finances. So if they go into debt, it's on them because I'm teaching them things that no one taught me. And it took me years to climb out of that hole. Even when the crabs kept just pushing me back down, I still climbed up until I climbed over that barrel. But if they go into debt, it's on their own. My son is the one who's living the most wisely. One, he's in the military. And he calls me up and goes, Mom, I'm in the military, but my friends are still spending $300 for stuff. Like, where are they going? You know, we wear a uniform all day and then we're walking around Korea. Where are we going? Why are you buying, 5 pairs of Jordans and we in Korea? You gonna take all that stuff on the plane when you go home? So he was like, because he's the cheapest kid. He didn't buy himself any new clothes until he got to Korea, So it's just, if we lay the foundation now and pay with cash. That's it. I love, back in the day though, right? All the people can relate. Can you relate? Put a hands up if you can relate. The card, right? The money access card, when that first came out, it wasn't nothing. It was just to get your money out. Now that Visa and that MasterCard sign there, that's my Visa card right there. You know what I'm saying? Right? It's not credit. I go right on Amazon. Cha-ching. So like that's the cool thing about like the process. There's no way you should be in debt. I mean, once you clean it up, it's different than we're bringing debt like along. But once you clean it up, there's no reason to go back.
Right.
She said, I totally agree with you 100%. So for the people who are just joining me, I said that on this coming Tuesday, May 5th, right? Tuesday's May 5th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My husband, Thomas, he's Thomas Sucker Jr., and he's Pasha Jude X on the Poshmark app. He and I will be live. We're going to try, at least for May, to go live every Tuesday. It's called Tucker Talks. To me, it seemed better than to creating a video and then releasing it. So we're going to go live, and you can ask us questions, and it will be, the first one will probably just talk. And then each one will probably be kind of themed where we'll talk about children, we'll talk about reselling, we'll talk about marriage. And so you can learn about the Tuckers. My husband is 12 years older than me. He's 62. So he has a lot of knowledge. He's lived through the riots. He's the oldest of 8 children. He has like a lot of story. He's a retired firefighter. He's in the Air Force. So he has a lot of story. And that's why I admire him so much. And we just kind of really feed off of each other. Tori says, growing up poor, I was always focused on how to change my stars. Wish they would teach kids about finances and budgeting as part of it. I mean, seriously, like, how we used to have home economics. They're talking about bring home economics back. To me, teach your kids that stuff at home right now. Because like my daughter, she went to school in high school when we moved here. They were teaching you how to be a chef. There's culinary. It's culinary now. So home economics would be taking a step back unless they are going to add like some budgeting techniques or something like that. That's what home economics is. Not sewing, not ironing. It's like teaching money now, because I mean, my thing is, if I think we should all know how to do that. But yeah, Tori agrees. She's Tori, like it doesn't seem like it, but she's only 6 years younger than me. So Quimby says, me too, grew up single mom and 6 kids. Leslie, thanks for sharing your story. I'm always transparent because I think that people have to kind of go beyond like the reselling. And that's why I love having like, people like Nicki on, because I'm telling you, she kicking butt. I love it, and she's not, whining about it unless she is at home. But that's when look, let's come on, Nicki. It's okay to be okay. So let's talk about this real quick. We don't have to stick to an hour. How are you feeling with everything going on? I don't really name it because I think that everybody has, you know what I'm saying? It's not necessary. We know where we're at. We know what we're going through. You're going out every single day. Today, I take my daughter to get all her paperwork for her new job. This is literally the first day that I've driven away from my house in a month. So for me, I've been protected, and I don't plan on doing a whole lot. All I did was sit in the truck in the parking lot. Like, I didn't have to deal with any people or anything. That's as far as I'm going. But like, so how are you feeling every single day going out and just, is it strange for you? Do you get anxiety?
I'm not getting anxiety, but sometimes I do get a little afraid, especially today, because if you guys do not know, I have became a trainer at my job. So now I'm training the new people. And today I had this incident where I was training this one young lady, and she was on the phone and she told me that, her test came back negative on the coronavirus. So I was a little worried about it. I was like, hold on.
Well, you can walk around.
Right. So I was a little nervous about that because I didn't have on my mask or anything like that. I don't really walk around with my mask on anyway.
Because you're like outside. When you're it's not like you're near people. The whole premise of it is that have like when you're in somebody's space, but you're out in the fresh air. Because that's what my husband told me. He's like, sweetie, it's not in the air. Because I'm like, I ain't going. He's like, it's not in the air. He told me that yesterday because I'm like paranoid. So that's why I asked you. So she's just revealing to, like, how long has she been working with you?
For 3 days. They have 3 days on the job training, and then today.
Oh, my test came back. And good. We've been chilling for 3 days. Oh my God.
Right. So that kind of freaked me out. Today I was like, whoa. I have no clue that you even, went to the doctor or you were sick or anything, that was going on, because she didn't mention it before. So that's the only time I really felt nervous or afraid. But pretty much I just go out to the mailboxes. I try to tell everyone, just give me a few minutes before they try to check their mail and stuff like that. And then that's all I do.
You deliver like a complex like me, where you put everything into like the little boxes. So you're not
I have all the
individual doors. You're delivering into the small little boxes, or in the.
Well, I have one in the in the beginning part of my route. I have a where I go door to door, because the mailboxes are on the door.
Okay.
So that's my walking part. And then the rest of my route are apartments. I have one centralized location that I go to.
That's good. So you have a 16-year-old daughter. How is she feeling through all of this?
She do not like it. She wants to get out. She wants to go hang around her friends and things of that sort. So you can't do that right now.
Yeah, I have the challenge. See, my challenge is like Thomas, his office, he can probably hear. Like, his daughter doesn't live here, mine does, but they share a friend, and I was like, no, you can't. And then my stepdaughter comes and is like, so I'm like, it's like so hard because it's I don't want anyone here. I'm like, so even my children, like, I don't want to like get too deep into it, but I think it's really important because like my oldest daughter, like I was saying, she's 29. She has a whole other life, So when she comes to my house, I don't know where you've been. So that's the way you have to think about it. It's not because you're related to someone. It's because they've been out dealing with other people. So I was like, you know what? Mommy's no joke. They showed up a couple weeks ago and they thought I was just playing. Like we had just talked and mom playing. I come downstairs and I said, wait a minute, what? Out. And I made them leave. Like I was serious about that. I love you, but like, no, this is 4 people who live up in here, and we want to keep it like that. Let's FaceTime and all that. And then one time it's like, I love my children, so all that other stuff is fine, and it's not about I'm not going to see my parents. I definitely can't see my parents because they're in that group where you can't be dealing with them.
Right.
They each know how to. Like my stepfather's the designated person because he's a chef, so he works at the nursing center. And then my father and my stepmother, they get stuff delivered, so they're good. My father's selling on Amazon, and we were just talking about the stuff he's selling. He like, I'm good right here. We're introverts, so I'm used to being in the house. He's used to being in the house. My mother used to be in the house. So hey, but I just want to make sure make sure everyone was safe. Also, like they're talking about your experience. So Wendy, who seems so chill. Okay, Wendy, we see who you are now, right? She said, I would have said, get out of my space. Wendy, I see you. She's so chill, but I see you. Let's go back to.
I love Wendy.
Tori saying my brother never had a credit credit, and now it's found it hard to get approved for anything else as an adult. And I actually find that with my my daughter Stephanie. She's 22. She does work. She works for our local university in their kitchen. She has a chef certificate, but she doesn't have like any household or anything like that. So even now, I'm just trying to get her like a bank account and stuff, and it comes back and they're like, we can't identify. I'm like, what? And so I was like, well, we're behind on her taxes. Let's file your taxes so your social security number can kind of be out there, because they're going like, yeah, we don't know who you are. Like, seriously, unemployment tried to do that. Like, we file unemployment. I got a letter saying we need more information because we can't identify you, but there's her social security number right on there. But then in the same same box, oh, here's what we approved you for. So I just sent them an email and say, well, what? So, but that's the challenge I'm having with her. So I figure we just going to have to check it out and see what's going on. It says, girly girl style. Yes, my kids were taught and are amazed at how many of their friends are clueless about money, and they're all 18 and 19. Yeah, that's definitely true. But that's with anything in life. When I was sending my daughter off to college, right? These kids don't know how to wash their clothes. They tell you that. They don't know how to wash their clothes. They say it doesn't matter what background you come from or whatever. Look to your left, look to your right. They were talking to parents. The kids were off on their orientation, and I'm in an orientation with 100 parents. And they're going like, yeah, these people don't, this going to be kids that don't know how to wash clothes. And she went to school literally up the street. Yeah, you can bring your clothes home, but you have to wash them yourself. I don't do that. But it was parents. My son, he went to school 2 years later at the same university. And when we dropped him off, he already knew his friends, thankfully. They went to middle school and then one went to high school. So he had 2 roommates. Get there, his parents there. She making her son's bed and everything. I said, Craig, you good? Let's take a picture. Bye. And I was out. And that's how I roll. But they talk about, oh, let's order food. And now, mind you, they live 5 minutes past us and I can walk to the university. And so I was like, yeah, that's not home for me. And then I didn't even hear from my son. Like, even now, he does the same thing. I'm like, it's different though. You're in Korea. You're not up the street where I know you're okay. It's been 3 weeks. Call your mother. So, but that's the good thing is because they're independent. They're not like, chasing me down. And then what does it say? So Tori says, I don't agree with paying cash though. Just use responsible and pay off each month. Get the bank to pay you. I've made thousands in rewards. That's great. I'm never getting a credit card though, Tori. Thomas. Yeah, that's a really good idea. I don't have that kind of, we have other things that we do, thankfully. So we've got our credit scores up and everything, and we're preparing to purchase a house, so that's going to be good enough. But we have so many other things. Thomas gets pension, Social Security. We have other things, ways of that you can do it. But I'm never getting a credit card again. I've been burnt so many times, seriously, by exes that it's just like a frightens me to do that. You know what I'm saying? So because it'll be times when I go to the doctor and they're like, oh, do you want to pay now? Like when my daughter she had hurt herself and it was $100. Like, no, I just want to get her seen. Send me the bill. And one time it came and I totally forgot. And the next thing you know, you're getting something. Oh, you got to pay this off. Yeah. But other than that, I don't want to. So I'm gonna take a couple more questions and then we're gonna go. I said, Vandy says, I was clueless for a long time. My parents were always chasing some kind of get rich scheme or MLM, and they never panned out. I learned the hard way. Yeah, that's how my my ex-husband was. We were I made a lot of friends, but we were like in Amway and Quick Star and stuff like that. And I was great because I learned I sold artistry and I love the vitamins and all that. But it was all the other stuff that went with it. I can't do upline because you got to answer to people, and I had to leave my children home. And then it was another kind of Prime America and just like so many different things. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I never want to answer to someone. And I knew in my heart that there were businesses that you could do on your own. And that's why I started crocheting. It may not have been riches, but it was mine. You know what I'm saying? I started baking. It wasn't riches, but it was enough. Even when I was single, I had those 2 businesses when I was single, and I could pay off my bills and be happy. Right. And everything was paid. And I was able to, like, every 2 weeks for my children, it was 4 of us in a tiny bedroom, 5 of us in a 2-bedroom apartment. And I had all 5 kids in 1 bedroom, and I was in the smallest little room. And every 2 weeks, all my kids, I'm telling you, they know about, like, that's why they're very frugal now, to be able to just to get some Chinese food. every 2 weeks on payday. I would call before I got off the bus and it would be ready. And that would be like the highlight. But that's the kind of stuff that brings people together. That makes you be more appreciative. And for real, I rather just go as small as I can and earn it and know it's mine and know I don't owe anyone, that no one's knocking at the door. Because I've been there where like wake up in the morning and the car's gone. You know, just so much stuff that I never want to go back there again. And this is going to be my last one. It says, Diana says, yes, true, Leslie. My kids have been doing their own laundry since middle school. They also had chores, and their friends said they were strict because they didn't have chores. Well, there are families who believe that if you have your children working, that's labor. But I think that is not true. I raised my children the way that I was raised. And I believe 100% that from the time your children are born to the time you leave here, you should be preparing them to live without you. And that's the key, because if you don't, you set them up. Like my husband, he's the oldest of 8. His youngest brother lived with his mother until she died. She died just 3 months before she turned 80. And he has no idea how to like function out in the world. And, you know, they can't take care of him because he's older than me. His youngest brother is 3 years old. He's 53. So like, and that's a shame. So you gotta teach your children. You're not doing them a disservice. You're doing them a great service. I can't even imagine. All of my children are close, thankfully, and they can take care of each other. I can't even imagine leaving here and not knowing that they're secure. You know what I'm saying? So even from just like making your bed and washing your clothes, all my children know how to, you know, follow recipes, and you know, they can cook some food. That's what matters. Even if you can work in microwave, you can, you know. And there is no girl job or boy job. We never did any of that. Everybody did everything in my house, and that just helps out. Like I told my son, he's going to be awesome because when I married Thomas, they gave him 7 sisters. So he can you imagine? He's such a super kid. So Nicki, anything else you want to say to everybody before we go? Anything you want to talk about?
Well, yes, with everything that you have going on, I just want to know, how are you doing it? I know I reached out to Daniela. She's doing a whole lot too, along with working just like me. So I just want to know, how are you guys like keeping up the momentum? Because I'm trying, one of my goals was to try to post every single day, but I'm finding myself, I start off great and then it kind of slacks off. So I was just wondering, how are you keeping up the momentum with everything that you have going on?
Well, first thing you do is you give yourself permission not to do things, you know. So if you don't make a post, then you don't have to. Again, as I said, Thrifters Villa, they did just put out a, you know, content calendar. I follow one, and it can be strict or it doesn't have to be strict. As long as I do the main things that I need to do to get my business going. For me, I'm much different than a lot of people who are on Instagram. I look at Instagram as being an extension of my business. Without it, I would not have any success. Facebook is there. That's beautiful. You have TikTok and all those other things. To me, Instagram is everything rolled up into one, because you have your stories. That's TikTok. You know what I'm saying? You have you don't have to do a whole lot. That's Twitter. You type in your 280 characters. You know, Facebook, you're connecting with people and you're going live. Well, Instagram is owned by Facebook, and Facebook is about to come out with some really good stuff. But I make sure I at least post on Instagram twice a day, and it has to be content that people like. So even if you see some people, they like my photo, they don't always read the comments. But when I post something, I always put something in the caption, some type of food for thought. I ask you a question because I want everyone to be engaged, but I calendar myself so that it keeps me accountable. You don't have to get crazy. And this is what I tell people. I used to work. By Diana, I used to work too. So I can always relate to anybody on almost any level, because I was a mom. I was a single mom. I've been married. You know what I'm saying? I did work. It hasn't even been 2 years. August will be 2 years when I walked away from my job. April, this time 2 years ago, was when I made the decision and I started working to come home. So people are like, oh, you're full-time now. What do you mean? I worked. I was working. I worked to get to this point, the point that you say you want to get to. So don't look at me where I am at. Listen to where I came from, you know. So just take your time. Don't compare yourself. Even though you're asking people for suggestions, sit down and figure out a workable plan that works for you. Do like your whole, like everything that you're doing. And that's what I did. Like when I decided 2 years ago, I was like, look, you know what? I can do this full time, right? I want to come home. I was 49. Otherwise, if I had been at my job and I had been invested or whatever, then I probably would have stayed there longer. But I had only been in my job for 5 years because I moved here to be with Thomas. So I didn't have any type of, anything, pension or anything. So I wasn't losing anything except for dental benefits. So I sat down and I said, you know what? Where do I want to be? What do I want to accomplish? And I started doing that, and I fulfilled all those things slowly. Then as I started seeing my business growing in a different direction, then I had to start thinking, like, what are people responding to the most? So that's the content that I put out, right? Because they keep coming back for the same thing. All I gotta do is put a picture of myself, and it doesn't matter what it is. Like, you see me with my mask on today. Like, you would think that I just said, here's something, here's some free money. But it's just showing me as myself, because you can imagine how many people say, oh my God, you're so brave. You're showing your bald head. Well, it's bald. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's bald. I have acne. I'm 50. You're telling your age. Someone sent me a message. Oh my gosh, you put a mask on your face. I would never show my family. Okay, well, I am. I'm not brave. I'm just whatever. So just find content that works for you. Like, I love the fact that you're, like, how you had your coworker take pictures of you. What you could do is, if you want to create content, in 1 or 2 days, take a ton of photos and release them slowly. That's what you do. Do it intentionally. If you want to create stories, when you get up in the morning, that's why I drink coffee every morning. So this morning I just did a boomerang and me doing coffee. You would think that I just gave away money again. So it's something about my coffee mugs that people like, that love my smile. So once you see what people are like, kind of give that to them, and then change it up a little bit. But you don't have to get crazy. It is calendar. So Instagram 3 to 4 times a day. That's me. Today I only did it twice because I was like, I ran around taking my daughter and doing projects. Twitter, only thing I do on Twitter is, as soon as I release a podcast episode, I tweet that out. That's where the most of my listeners come from. So Facebook, I link my Facebook to my Instagram. As soon as I post something on my Instagram page, it instantly goes to my Facebook. So if you go to my Facebook, all my Facebook pages, like my podcast, Reseller Passion podcast, whatever I posted on there is Facebook. So now I have 2 audiences built in one. So you just got to get creative of what you're doing. If you want to start doing YouTube, maybe film 2 YouTube videos. Like, if this was an actual video, I would finish my video, say, thank you, friends, turn it off, take this shirt off and stick another shirt on, and then go right for it. So now I have 2 videos. I can release one a day, and then I can release one 3 days later. So it's just really creative ways. Like, your day off, you don't have to use the whole day. I said in the ebook, even in the ebook where I say, if you're batching, stop at noon, get up early in the morning, stop at noon, and the rest of the day is yours. So you can get creative. You can make it work in a way that works for you. And so you figure out what works for you. Like, this happened organically. When I say to you that I fell into 15,000 community members, like, every day I'm like, are you kidding? Like, literally, it boggles my mind, and that's me being as real and trying to be as humble as possible, because I'm like, what? I'm just being me. And I find that if you tell the truth, if you show who you are, as little or as much as you want, there are some people who are afraid, and they'll tell you they're afraid, but then they can't identify what they're afraid of. Once you identify what you're afraid of and you overcome that, then you can accomplish anything. And so my fear was, for 3 weeks, I'm like, I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna make a video. I can't do that. I can't do that. That first video you probably watched, I sat down and said, I'm gonna do it today. And I sat down in that red chair and I made my video. And the rest is history. Here we are a year later. And all the people that I know now, or because, see, when I start crying because it's amazing to me. And Quimby says, thank you so much. I'm going to walk and make dinner. Yet it's early where she is. She's in California. Yep, we'll see you Friday. Vandy agrees about Instagram. Oh yeah, comparison is a killer, definitely. And Wendy says, I love the content you both put out. I love Wendy's content too. Wendy's another person who's getting there. The ladies they are seriously, there are people who, like Patricia used to say, I don't like to show my face, but then I would say, well, you've been at Posh Fest cheer, but the same thing. She's like, I don't know where to start. And she'll tell you, she was doing a video where they were selling a house or something. And she says, okay, here, I'm just going to do it. And she did a live, and Nora the same way. And then certain people like Ashley will still say she doesn't want to do it. Then Roxanne wasn't doing anything. Now Roxanne, I'm selling, I'm doing that, you know. So it's just like, if I can do it, you can do it. So I'm proud of you just how you are. You know, you don't have to do what everyone else is doing. I can't wait to see what you're going to come up with. I can't wait to see what ideas. I love the fact that you're stepping out of your comfort zone. I'm telling you, Thomas, when he meets people, he'll be like, oh, yeah, I already know you. Because seriously, there are certain people that I talk about, like, they're my best friends. And it's like, if somebody catches my attention, then they stay, because it's not everybody has my phone number. Not everybody can text me. You know, I'll look and go, oh, that's so-and-so today. Hey, you know. And so that's just kind of how it is. It's probably about 10 people that I connect with on a level. And I see that in you. Bye, Nora. There's Nora. Tell Miss Zoe I said hello. And then it says all. Wendy says all because I encouraged her. And I love Wendy so much. But Nicki, I want to thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Leslie.
And I'm gonna have to go through tomorrow delete that video because it buffers. Once you end the broadcast, it buffers and then it'll be up as a video. Photo. But I think we're gonna do this again next Thursday. I already have a panel of ladies. You definitely want to come on to that, everyone. Next Thursday on May 7th is the Brown Girl Chat. It's going to be 5 Black women talking about, got a couple people who don't have any hair, people got hair, but they're all resellers who are going to be talking about their business and their journey, and you're really going to like that. Then I have a Spanish edition coming in, and then I'm going to have Lori and Daniela on. But then this Thursday, it's going to be Blake and Bill. So stay tuned. I want to thank everyone so much for being a part of my community. You humble me every single day. You just don't know. Without you, some days I will go really crazy. And I just want you to know that I appreciate you and I love you. It's okay not to be okay. If you're sad today, go through all the emotions, but feel better tomorrow. So Nicki, I appreciate you so much. Friends, I thank you so much for coming on. All the people who are still left, Vandy, Christy, Wendy, and everyone else, thank you so much. Take care.
Bye.